Hey guys, I'm Colleen. I'm a person. I like to read and I like to write, but I do whatever on this channel. And today, I will be talking about the Disney princesses, the classic Disney princesses. The fan is going to stay on even if it's a bit loud because I stayed in this costume after filming like princess shorts, but I wanted to because of the topic of discussion right now. This is going to be quite a quicker video because I just really need to get this out as I was doing my weekly routine of like planning the shorts that I'm gonna film and all that. I noticed that a lot of the recommendations on YouTube have become about the Snow White live action drama. There's so much being said and there's so much backlash and controversy, and while I'm not going to focus on that, like the drama itself, I'm not gonna focus on that. It just got me thinking about what I would say if I was like in a Disney press tour for like a Disney princess film. While I do agree that some of the Disney princess titles, if not all, I think, in Mulan was released in 1998. And the oldest one, Snow White, is 1937. I do agree that they're a bit more traditional and like classic, you know? They're a bit on the older side story-wise and sort of have a timestamp to them, especially for Snow White, since it was a bit like an older tale. It is a given that it's different from now. It's such an obvious thing that there's going to be a difference between 1937 and now, but I disagree that there's nothing at all that has merit just because the princesses or the women in 1937 were in a different situation as the women in 2025. I disagree that Snow White, the movie, is like a big dumpster fire. If that makes sense. I think there's still merit to the classic Disney princesses and their stories. One is they're a bit closer to the magic in its basest form. Like wanting love, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? I think there is an argument about like the reliance in the prince character, the Prince Charming character that is present in all of the Disney films. But I think wanting love in itself is still a thing that people can relate to now. Whether you just want, like, that's your main focus, you want to find love, or you want to venture, which is also still present in the classic Disney princesses. I think there's obviously going to be commentary on the limitations of women then and women now, but there is some sides to these stories that you can still view positively. All these princesses, like Snow White, Cinderella, Ariel, Belle, they all ventured. Jasmine, they ventured. They wanted something out there. They stepped out of their comfort zone and dealt with like strife. Whether you want to be a warrior or like you want to see other places and explore, whether that's what you want and you find love along the way, or you choose to actively find love, I think both are great. I don't see anything wrong with it. Yes, Snow White and the Prince, I think they had quite an age gap, and Snow White was really young. But with Snow White, you can find some good, positive qualities to her because she was going through a lot. She was going through a lot, and to remain resilient and like light and positive through all that. I mean, someone tried to kill her in the forest and she was essentially kicked out of her own house and treated as a maid. I don't know if I could cope if I was Snow White, if I was like chase through the forest and with all the scary stuff out there, I would crash out. And I think something nice to say about Snow White is that she remained resilient and, as I said, light and positive, and she could still see good in the situation that she was in. Like, she found herself in such circumstances that she had to seek shelter with like people she's never met before in the middle of the woods, like the dwarves. They're strangers to her, and to still find it in her to deal with it and be kind about it and still be helpful and still dream despite all the struggle and the strife that she was going through. I think there's something admirable there. Even though she's got this very idealist view of like love is magical and all that, to be able to maintain that and still believe in that after all that you've gone through is something to be admired, I think. With Cinderella, I admired that she had the courage to sneak out, is what I'm saying. I mean, you can look at it as like she relied on the prince and the prince rescued her and stuff, but the other side there is that she wanted to go, and even if she had little means to find a dress and all that, she was digging through scraps to make that dress. She had help from like the mice and the fairy godmother later on, which is a great blessing. There's nothing wrong with receiving help. Cinderella wanted to go and she was planning for it, even though she had little means, even if, let's say, she didn't look the part. With her first dress, I mean, she wasn't like looking to be the center of the ball and all that and meet the prince. She didn't go to the ball with the prince in mind even. She just wanted to go because she wanted to have fun, and I think there's something to be admired there. Going and getting what you want, I don't see anything wrong with that. And whether or not you find love in that endeavor depends on the circumstance, but I don't see anything wrong with that. If you watched Elle Fanning's interview for Maleficent, I think she hit it. She hit the nail on the head, and I completely agree. Aurora is a bit softer, like a softer princess, and I did very much like her commentary on it, that not everyone wants to be a warrior. It's nice that we now have the option to be like bosses and CEOs and these like formidable women. It's nice that we now have the option to be warriors. But that doesn't mean that there's no merit to like wanting a soft life, embracing like femininity and things like motherhood and finding like someone to love and to raise a family with. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. The option is what is important, whether you want like to be a girl boss or you want to be soft and just live happily ever after with your spouse. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the point is you go and get what you want. Even if you face adversity, you persevere. And yeah, I think we still see that with these princesses. Because if you put in a blanket statement of everyone is rescued, I don't think that's fair, because a lot more happens. And maybe the people who say that just didn't pay attention, I guess. Especially with like Belle, she was such an intelligent character and she didn't conform to the norms of the village, even though like the hottest guy in town, Gaston, wanted her. She didn't want that. With Belle, she wanted to explore something beyond the village. Belle, without focusing on outer appearance of the beast, like befriended him and helped him work through all that he was going through, and they changed each other. And I think that's a good thing and something admirable to the Beauty and the Beast's story. Another thing with Belle is that she wanted to save her dad, which I think is such a great thing. Personal sacrifice. to save a parent is another thing that could be appreciated with that story. With Aladdin and Jasmine, I don't even think I need to explain. If we focus on Jasmine by herself, she wanted to explore, she wanted to be a good ruler and venture out to see what's up in the village, in the country that they govern. She wanted to see what it was like to have like a normal, non-princess, non-privileged life. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. With Pocahontas and Mulan again, I don't think I need to explain. I get it that John Smith and Pocahontas, they had such an age gap. That in itself, that's a no-no. But to say that the tale of Pocahontas, there's nothing there with the Disney film, there's nothing to be appreciated there, I think is like unfair. The same with Mulan. Mulan is one of my favorite movies of all time, especially the part where she climbs to get the arrow. And yeah, whatever I'm doing, even if I'm just playing it in the background, when that scene comes on, I stop. I stop everything. I have to watch it each time. But yeah, with the older princesses, if we can set aside that it's like a classic traditional, all that, there's still some things to be appreciated, because otherwise these tales would not be appreciated long after their release. Snow White, we still hear about it. I've seen maybe 10 remakes through the years. It's a tale that is being revived over and over because people love it and people see something to be appreciated in that story. The perseverance, the dreaming, the whimsy, the magic. Cinderella has been remade so many times, and one of my favorite movies is a Cinderella story, Ever After. Granted, Danielle, the protagonist in this Ever After Cinderella story, is a bit more outspoken and saved herself rather than being saved by the prince. But yeah, the classic Cinderella tale from Disney, I think there's something to be appreciated there still. She wanted something beyond like her day-to-day and serving the stepsisters and whatnot. She just wanted a night out. And who doesn't want a night out? I don't know. So in conclusion, I just wanted to rant because I just thought it could have been done better, phrased better, representing such a classic character. I don't think it's fair to not represent them, like be against them completely in the press while you are being asked to play that character and be the current embodiment of that character. If you are chosen to play that, I think it's your duty to find what is good about it and what is to be appreciated about it and what warrants merit. And yeah, phrasing is important, delivery is important. I'm just saying. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.